Does node software matter? We know that running a Bitcoin node for yourself can be very beneficial to the user. You can verify transactions yourself instead of trusting a third party. You can also verify channel opens and other Lightning related things. You can even verify the blockchain data that's out there. But what we really want to know is the relaying part, the peer-to-peer part. Does that part matter? Does your particular node implementation filtering something actually matter to the network in some way? That's the question I aim to answer with this video. So filtering at an individual level has some minor trade-offs. You upload less transactions and have fewer transactions in your mempool, so you get the benefits of maybe less upload bandwidth and slightly less transaction verification and mempool management. But at the network level, you're less likely to hear about filtered transactions, which if they make it into a block, you have to go and re-download. And this creates a little bit of a delay in what's called compact block relay. Because blocks aren't sent in their entirety throughout the network, we have something called compact block relay, which makes it so that you can reconstruct the block from the transactions in your mempool. But clearly, if a transaction is not in your mempool, then you have to go and re-download it, which means that compact block relay is delayed slightly by the fact that you have filters on your node. But depending on your point of view, that can be considered a feature or a bug. For a lot of core developers, what they say is that, well, if you do that, then there's more orphan risk, and that means that we're going to have inefficient use of proof of work and blocks are going to be slower and so on. For a mining node that's running filtered software, there's going to be some delay in downloading the block. During that time of delay, you may find a block, in which case you risk being orphaned. Otherwise, you may be just wasting work that could have gone into building the next block. And this is indeed a negative for running a filtered node when you are receiving a block with filtered transactions. That said, this is also a risk for the miner that created the block with filtered transactions. Because for them, they may also get orphaned during block propagation. So in a sense, this is what you're doing by running a filtered node as a miner. You're punishing yourself a little bit because obviously the compact block relay is going to be slower, but you're also punishing the miner that created a block with filtered transactions in it. It's what you would call in game theory costly punishment. The orphaning risk honestly isn't that much. A 6-second delay in block propagation means about a 1% chance of the rest of the network finding a block that competes with the slow block. Yet that orphan risk was enough to get Marapool to stop mining transactions that are less than 0.1 sats per vbyte. So for mining nodes, it definitely does matter what software you run, not just at a block construction level, but also at the relay level. Now the question becomes, does this matter for non-mining nodes? And individually, it really doesn't matter all that much, but collectively it does. Currently, for about 95% of the blocks that are generated, the peer-to-peer network doesn't matter all that much. Why? Because mining is centralized and the players that actually construct these blocks are well known. They're called mining pool operators, and they run Stratum v1, getting hashers to hash on the particular template that they send them. Now, because they are centralized and they're big and well known, they can run off-band payment systems like Slipstream. And they can rely on preferred peer clients like Libre Relay to connect to them to send them transactions that might have shown up on the peer-to-peer network. So for the 95% of blocks, the filtering is not that relevant. That said, there is this problem of getting filtered transactions to Libre Relay nodes so that they can go straight to the miner. And that imposes something of a cost because you have to go find the Libre relay node. Somebody has to run that Libre relay node and so on. That's a cost to the spammer. And the alternative is using something paid like Slipstream, which again costs something. So it does deter the marginal spammer, though very minutely. Now, for the 5% of blocks that are running decentralized protocols like Stratum v2 or Datum or even solo mining, the miners are not known, so they are forced to use the peer-to-peer network. And this is where node software actually does matter, at least collectively. The miners in this scenario are small and unknown, so there are no off-band payment systems, and they're less likely to be connected to a preferred peer relay system like Libre Relay. As a result, for a transaction to be known by the entire network requires a certain percentage of nodes that are willing to transmit them. This is called the percolation threshold. So above the percolation threshold, the entire network knows about the transaction, even if the rest of the network is running a filtered node. Below that threshold, it's not likely for most of the nodes on the network to know them. This percolation threshold is believed to be about 10%. So collectively, 90% of nodes running a particular filter means that it will work, at least for the 5% of blocks that are generated through the peer-to-peer decentralized network and not decentralized mining entities. In other words, running a node has benefits for yourself, but it also has very small benefits to the entire network. It's not that different from voting, where your vote probably doesn't matter individually, but collectively it does.